Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Hey, guess what, John? I figured out how to do it. Actually, I don't know if it was Bill Sell that told me how to do it. I actually figured out you have to double click the last video before we go on stage.
Yeah,
and
well, only took you 9.5 years.
Right, to figure it out. And I got Sheri in the green room.
So you got all, okay, so we've got our whole crew. We should tell everyone that we have a special show tonight, and this show is brought to you by Seacoast RVs on Route 1 in Saco, Maine. And even though it's not RV season right now, it's the perfect time to go to their store and stock up on Christmas gifts for that RVer in your family. And take a look at the new crop models and the new elevation models that are arriving daily. And there's always a wide selection of Winnebago products that are there at Seacoast RV. Say hi to Amanda. Say hi to
Kenny,
and all the other fine people.
Brittany and Kendra. Creating family fun on Route 1. There we go. Our good friends at Seacoast RV. And I think...
Let's talk about Ben.
Yeah, let's talk about Ben.
Okay. Before we talk about Ben, though, we've got a special show. We've got something that's never... You know what? I would say, Bob, in the history of broadcasting about the RV industry, something that's never been done. We've got the top women in the industry that are joining us live tonight, by tape tonight, but they are going to talk about their role in the industry, which, you know what, when you and I got involved in this several years ago, women were not at the point that they are right now as far as, what do you call it, the corporate structure. But
yeah, the organizational chart, but they've changed. They have certainly changed all of that, and they are preeminent in most of our dealerships. I mean, justified by, what do we got here? We got two that are third generation.
Yep.
We got one who's a founder of her company, and she founded it 35 years ago. We've got a unique lineup. If we go through it, Michelle Woodman is with us from Campers Inn, Sheri Fuller, and everybody in the world knows Sheri Fuller. We got Michelle Andro from the Andro family at Hemlock Hill, and Lexi Roberts is making her first appearance. She happens to be the daughter of Frank Roberts, but we'd rather have Lexi Roberts than Frank Roberts. And then we have Jill Slater and Jeff Slater. Jeff and Jill, we call them the dynamic duo at Major's RV Center on Cape Cod, probably the largest parts and accessory store in Cape Cod. And again, making her first appearance on the show. No, I think we had her for a little bit one night. Maybe a second. Olivia Mekkelsen,
okay.
third generation there also.
But first, we have another slide. We have bad news followed by good news.
Okay, you're up.
Our good friend, Ben Quiggle, who is the editor-in-chief of Woodall's Campground magazine, had a family tragedy on Thanksgiving evening. Now, the good news is that nobody got hurt. The bad news is they got a lot of damage to their house, where they live in a farmhouse in Michigan, right? Just outside of Elkhart, just over the line.
Yep.
And his son happened to go outside to get something out of the car, and he came back and said, the roof is on fire. So they had just had their fireplace cleaned and just finished their meal and put a big fire in the fireplace, which ignited, one of the embers ignited the roof, and the upstairs, you can see the damage that was done there, and the downstairs was damaged as well by smoke inhalation, smoke and water damage. So that is the bad news. The good news is they've got a what do you call it? A GoFundMe campaign. You can see the address right there. And I think you can copy the QR code, right?
You can scan the QR code, but I will also put it in the notes down below in a little while, so everybody has that.
Yep.
You know,
The amazing thing is Ben went way too low. He set the goal for 20,000. They're already 30,000. But depending upon what insurance is going to cover, he's going to need a lot more than that. And he's promised that anything he gets over 30,000, he'll split with Zagami and I. And so we're encouraging you to send some money to Ben.
Well, that must be my cue to get our guest up on the screen here. And if you hear Toby barking, I have no clue. Oh, and Sheri, you know why I couldn't see Sheri before? She was below the line.
Well, where is she now?
I'm going to get her.
Jill's got room next to her. There she is.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Come join.
Hey,
There she is.
don't take it personally, Sheri. I just never realized there was a second line below. Maybe because I don't have 7.
I won't take it personally.
Well, look at
Hey, Bob, can move me down to the second row. I'd rather be with the women than with you.
unless I take you down and see where you pop up the second time.
Not here.
How's that?
There we go.
Yeah, we got Sheri and I we'll be shoveling snow tomorrow.
So that'll be the old person's row down at the bottom.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Well, I was going to ask Sheri first because she won't be insulted, but I'm going to guess that Sheri Fuller is the eldest lady on the show tonight.
Probably because we're off by 5 years. It's 40 years. We just finished our 40th year in business.
Wow.
Wow, congratulations.
That is awesome. Imagine, and you and Bobby started that 40 years ago? Now
1984.
Okay, wow. My goodness gracious. So
George Orwell.
So what have you learned in the RV industry, Sheri, that might be beneficial to our other ladies tonight?
You learn everything by the seat of your pants. You develop it in your own way. You do your own thing, and everybody comes around. I mean, we've got second and third generation people that come back. We've got sales that we've done, and the people can call me at any time. I can walk them through whatever problem they have, especially after they buy them and they forget what I told them. And they love that. I've got a woman that she bought in 2007 and she keeps coming back for the service work, and she loves my son because he does all the work, and she can't speak any more highlier of him, and she loves us. And she when she was ready to move up to a one that her husband can stand up in because they have a class B, she'll be coming back. But it's just, you stay on their level, and you try to just give them some common sense. And when they call, you give them the time, and that's it.
Yep. Bob, we've said this before, how fortunate we are to, at least in this panel as an example of it, all locally owned companies. Now, you say Campers Inn is headquartered in Florida, but their heart is in New Hampshire.
They started in Acton, Mass. So yeah, they got a lot of facilities.
But they're locally owned.
They're local. They're not
locally owned.
They're not owned by a corporate equity firm. And and when you think about that, and we've got Lexi and Olivia in the third generation of that, and Lexi, I know you're moving up the ladder there, and your father can't wait for you to take over. But how's your education been? Because I go way back. I go way back with what, John?
She was muted a second.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep the background noise out because I had some
dogs
noises in the back, but I'm good now.
Yeah, so I go with your dad, and then of course I go with Fran and Shirley, and I had a great relationship with Fran and Shirley. So what has being in the family business done for you in terms of accelerating your career?
It was a great starting point for me. It's been my first job. I've been in the business since I was 16 years old, never really thinking that it was going to be an option for me. I was never strongly encouraged. You know, it was always there as an option and I never really thought about it. And then I started working there. I started as a service advisor, so a tough job, but I absolutely loved it. I loved the industry. I loved the people at the business, everything about it. So I just knew it was a perfect fit for me.
Michelle, Andro, you are also in the family, and Chris being the GM and Jason being in charge of fixed ops down there at Hemlock Hill. Did you always, no, you weren't always in the business. So tell us what you did before and then why you came back into the business.
So, interestingly enough, one little tidbit to tag on to what Sheri was saying is they just finished their 40th year. We're going into our 40th year.
Yep.
So we started the RV dealership in 1985. But before that, we owned a camp resort since 19.
Oops.
You know, not only do we own an RV business, we camped and owned a campground. So we have a lot of insight into the things that can go wrong with RVs and the lifestyle in general. But for my career, so basically I started working, you know, in the 70s when I was a child, doing different things in the camp resort. And then I went off to college, got a marketing degree, and sort of felt like I needed to go out and get some experience and have just a different experience and use my college degree. So I had a corporate marketing career for 25 years, and then I came back into the business, and now I head up marketing and communications.
Michelle, did they make you fill out an application?
My whole life has been an application. I don't have any sisters. It's just me and two brothers.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Michelle, you got to understand that when we were down there a month or so ago for the grand opening, we got to meet your mother.
Yes.
And she ran a tight ship when she was running that camp. She talked about all the different theme nights. She used to work with a couple of the ladies that were there that night. So you're not the first working female in that family by any means.
Not at all.
Your mother,
my mom really worked very hard. Both my parents did. They did two totally different jobs, but it all came together, and she was really a lot of the backbone and glue that kind of kept our family together while we were all so busy.
That was a great video that you did during the open house. I'll bet that's been played many times over. Right?
Yeah, we're really proud of her.
But see, one thing that I'll let the world know right now that Michelle doesn't even know, that when we were talking to your mother, we had to go into the back area there because it was too noisy out front. And she said, the kids don't know this yet, but this is going to be my office, and I'm going to come over and watch over those guys. And if the three of them can't get their act together, I'm coming back in and taking over. So I don't know if she's been there yet. She was ordering her furniture.
Yeah, she's got a lot of energy.
Olivia, how about you? I know you graduated a few years ago, and then you got your master's degree, and was it always in your plan to be in the business?
So I experimented a little bit. I thought for a minute I wanted to be a physical therapist, and then I interned, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't have the patience for that. I think when I started my business degree at UVM, that's kind of when it solidified. And then I did do the internship with Karen McDonald in Massachusetts, and I ran her rental department for a summer, and I think that really that's been my passion, I would say, the rental side of things. Over the past few years since I've been at Mekkelsen's full time, since 2019, 5 years. I'm getting old now, but not that old. But no, the rental side of things I love, and that's been my passion, and I've managed that since 2017, 18 at Mekkelsen's. And now I'm taking on more of also a role in the sales management side, because we did lose our sales manager. She retired back in April. So I've taken that on as well, and doing a lot of the financing. So wearing a lot of hats currently. So definitely learning on the fly as I go with a lot of it, but it's a lot of fun. And then,
Olivia, you said back when I was in college, I did some experimenting. We thought you were talking about That kind of experiment.
No, experimenting with like what I wanted to do. No. But,
Okay.
yeah, for a career.
Up at UVM, they're pretty liberal at UVM.
They are. Yeah, it was quite the time. Yep.
The land of Bernie Sanders. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Luckily, the records have been expunged.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle Woodman, you don't have any family links.
I don't.
And
She actually worked to get her job.
You must work because
And she filled out an application too, right, Michelle?
yeah, and
Right.
she is
I did. Long
she is
interviews.
the top. Do I have this right? The top sales rep and Campers in the country in the number of sales and gross profit.
Yes. Gross profit, I'm pretty sure, but in the units, yes.
Number of units.
Bernie's in the audience, so if you're not right, I'm sure that we'll know within about 10 seconds.
Hang on, he's texting me right now.
He probably is. Let me see if I got one. No, I haven't got one yet.
I'm not positive about the gross profit.
So how did you decide to sell RVs? Did you fall into it? Did you have a game plan?
No, I never would have thought that I would be selling RVs. I've been self-employed for the last 24 years. COVID really affected both of my businesses, and timing wasn't right to kind of do anything. I was a vendor at the car dealerships, and one of my managers that I'd worked for, he was working at an RV place and was trying to get me to come over and do sales, and I wasn't ready. The timing wasn't right. I gave it everything I could for the businesses, and I just one day I made the call and I said, I think I want to do it. And he was not doing in the RV world anymore, but he encouraged me to go and meet with my current GM, and I'm glad I did. And it's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I love it. I plan to retire with Campers Inn.
And you live right in the area?
It's rough. It's a 5-minute drive. It's a lot.
You don't even hit a red light then?
No.
What do you think was the reason for your success? Obviously, you must have been successful in your hard work and your other businesses. So it sounds like it was a very easy transition for you to go into RV sales.
I really honestly did not know much about RVs at all. That was the most stressful part.
Well, neither do most salesmen, but that's all right.
Still.
We have a really good culture. I think that we just try and really give a better, really good experience to the customers. If we say we're going to do something, we do our best to do it. If we tell them we're going to call them at a certain time, we're very close at the dealership. We stay in communication with the customers from the start to the end thereafter, and just give them the best possible service we can. We talk to them like they're a friend. They are. I love being around people, so it's really kind of easy. I think the biggest thing that was the most difficult for me was learning. I felt like I had to know everything about an RV, and like sales is just like she said, on the fly. No deal is ever the same. It's fun. You're selling memories.
Well, you're right about the culture.
You're selling memories.
I'm one of the older people in this industry, and one of the few people who
Wait. Not older. How about oldest?
Well, it could be. I mean, it could be. I am very young for my age, but I actually knew Fran and Todd Hirsch when they formed the company in Acton, Mass. I lived in Stowe, Mass, and I used to see Jeff and Bob and David come home from school and get all the RVs ready, and had watched them grow from that one spot in Acton. And when Jeff ventured out and convinced Fran to let him open up Nashville, New Hampshire, and the rest was history. They took off, and but the same people today, Jeff and Ben, as they were 20, 30 years ago, and the culture has maintained to do that.
Yeah. He was also there when Edison invented the light bulb, and Alexander Graham Bell invented the phone, and Henry Ford made the first car.
All right, so Miss Slater, we haven't left you out, haven't forgot you, but you're part of the biggest.
She's got the biggest dog in the fight too.
Good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You're part of the dynamic duo down there at Majors, and people.
Yes.
You are Majors. I mean, I understand the people are there, but John, you've done a lot of videos down there, and of course I've known most of those people through the years, but give us your impression of the Jill and Jeff combo, because they're fantastic people to work with.
Well,
Thank you.
And the thing is this, the thing at Majors, even though, you notice he asked you a question, then took it back before you get to answer. But the thing at Majors is just like at so many of the other facilities that we see here represented tonight, is that you don't really have customers. You have friends that come in. And
Correct.
when I see the relationship that Jill has with the people that walk in, along with that other guy who's not going to be mentioned tonight, it really is. It's so. They don't go to the service department because they don't have a problem. They've got an issue that they got to take care of, and Jill just does it appearing effortlessly. So
It's a part of me.
Yeah. How'd you wind up there? Now, did you get there first, or did Jeff get there first?
I did. I've been there 26 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he's only been there 18.
Yeah, shipwreck.
Shipwreck there.
You're only 28 years old?
Yeah. I don't think so. A little over that.
So, Jill, tell us what you do.
So I order all the parts. I'm the parts manager. I do everything. Well, besides the service part end of it, but yeah, I do all the ordering, the receiving. I'll even go and help all the customers on the floor. You clean the bathroom. You do it all.
Are you in charge of the wheel of savings?
Yes.
You're the keeper of the wheel.
Yes, keeper of it, making sure Jeff doesn't break it.
Tell our other guests what the wheel of savings is, because they might want to incorporate something like that.
Yeah, twice a year we have our open house, and we have a big, huge wheel, a wooden wheel on a stand, and customers, they spin it, and depending on what color they land on, they get between 10 and 40% off. And I think that wheel is probably about 30, 35 years old.
And everybody gets to spin it. It's not just you have to buy something over a certain amount. And,
correct.
It's not good for service though, right?
If they buy a $5 toy, they get to spin the wheel. If they spend $500 for an air conditioner or something, they spin the wheel.
Right.
Correct.
And you know what? I've been down there when a few of the people have gotten the 40% off.
That's exciting.
And you know what? I mean, and I think they had like a almost a $400 order. So that's like $120 discount just for spinning that wheel.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
What's the secret? Because it's a family business. They're known. What do you think is the biggest strength that Majors has when you look at the size of the parts and accessory store? Why do people keep coming back? Because they are family. No matter when you win there, no matter who comes through the door. I don't think I've ever been down there. Somebody comes through that door. Somebody inside knows who they are.
And that's the big key is we try to treat all our customers as if they are family or someone that we're going to know for a very long time. And it really makes it a lot easier to go to work.
Yeah. Now you don't treat DePietro that way when he comes down, do you?
Yeah, we do. We like to have him come back.
You do.
Yeah.
DePietro, I got a video about the halfway mark, but you must have an intelligent question for me.
I think everything I've asked so far has been intelligent.
They may not agree. Can I see a show of hands?
Although Frank Palan says John looks like me, he may have done an experiment tonight. Thanks, Olivia, for bringing that phrase up.
Oh, you know what? Why don't you do the comments? And then
okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. The comments are as follows. Jim Roy from Maine was in early tonight.
Yep.
At Silver Moose Restorations. The Haws are from Texas. They are in a very wet state of mind. Walter's also from Central Florida. Walter's a Massachusetts guy, but he's Florida-ing it now.
Are you
Bernie
cold
was
enough,
here.
Walter? Are you cold enough, Walter? It was 39 degrees here this morning.
Yep.
Oh, Uncle
Bernie says
Bernie.
hi.
Bernie.
Yep. No, Mary is from one of the suppliers, right?
Huh?
Right, Jill?
What's up?
Mary's one of the supplier companies.
Yes. Yep. Full in sales.
Fallen Sales. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Charlie Full and the gang up in New York.
Yes.
Yeah. Our friend Michelle is from RVing Today TV. Okay. Dante is a regular. Dante's in Florida as well. Frank Palange will be in Florida soon, but he's probably in West Springfield right now. And Mary said, woot, woot. Ryan Hadley.
Tell him what Ryan's doing.
Okay. Ryan contacted Bob and I about 5 years ago and said, can I meet with you guys? So we went to a very nice diner in Worcester, and we found out that Ryan is a classmate of my daughter. And he said, I want to join NERVDA, meaning NERVDA. So he had a check with him right there. And had been working in his dad's business, working on RVs, and said, you know what, the time has come to start my own biz. And he named it Trick, which is TRIC, which is the first letter of the names of his 4 children. And don't tell me what they are because I cannot remember. And he's celebrating his 5th anniversary this month. He's been on the show several times.
Yep.
He's very, very highly respected mobile service guy. In fact, I know he does some work for Sheri Fuller a lot, and
several of the dealers.
Yeah, he's done some work for Campers Inn.
Overflow. Yep.
But he's one of the new breed people that is ahead of the curve because he realizes that every day he gets to work for himself, it's kind of a blessing, but he wants to give back. So we're putting together a program with St. John's Food for the Poor in Worcester, which is a large food pantry and kitchen in Worcester that serves over 1,000 plates of food per day, 5 days a week, and groceries on weekends. And if you make a donation of $25 food pantry to the food pantry, Ryan will give you a certificate for $25 off your next service. And then he'll also make a sizable donation himself.
And he's built a fantastic business and one of the best independent reps in New England. What do we got there? Randy Murray from Pete's RV, always a good friend. Comes in. Uncle Bernie, very sad. Happy to hear he's okay.
He's talking about Ben. When we were talking about Ben.
Ben Quiggle, okay, yeah. John is correct. New Hampshire is the heart and pulse of Campers Inn. Thank you, Bernie. Charlie Baker, good to see you, Charlie.
Butler.
Charlie Butler.
Yeah, Charlie Baker is the guy who used to be the governor.
Baker, yeah. He's now in charge of the NCAA, and he has to figure out what he's going to do about college teams fighting at the end of the game to stick a flag in the ground.
Yeah.
If he does it like he did Pilgrim Healthcare, he won't do anything.
Yeah.
Bernie, Michelle is doing a fantastic job in Chichester. Yeah, she's even doing a better job than you, Bernie. Frank Palange, John looks like he may have done an experiment tonight. No, he didn't. The sales motto: if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with BS. Haha, joke. Chuck, where are you in Florida? I saw a note you did the other day.
In Florida?
He's in Florida right now. For any one of the nice women, see, Walter brings us back to sanity and back to the task at hand. What was the pivotal moment in your career where you felt your unique perspective or approach made the biggest difference, and how did you harness that experience to continue growing? And before you answer that, I am going to play. We have a special guest with a special message that I am going to play right now. So listen up.
And watch, too.
Hi, I'm Susan Carpenter, president of the RV Women's Alliance, and I would like to congratulate the women on today's show for their leadership in the RV industry. It's very commendable. There's not enough of us out there. So I just kind of wanted to explain a little bit about RV Women's Alliance. We've been around since 2019, and our goal is to educate, elevate, and promote women in the industry. Our association is open to women and men because it takes two sides to make a difference. And then also to tell you our membership's for free. So, what a deal. And I'd really encourage all of you guys who are listening that's not a member now to join in and have some fun with us. I don't know, after the Bob and John show, I don't know how much better it can get than this, but you can give it a try, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Bob and John have been a supporter of RVWA since the very beginning, and we can't be thankful enough for them. And just having you guys on the show shows how much support they do for women in the industry. And if you're not a mentor, we would love to have you as a mentor, because if you're the leaders they say you are, then we need you to come join us and help mentor the next generation. So congratulations again. I think this is a wonderful show, and you guys all deserve the kudos for being a leader in an industry. There's not enough women to do that. Hi.
That was nice. That was nice of Susan. I asked her to just drop me a little note and talk a little bit. I'm curious, how many of you are members? I know Michelle was early on there, but how many of you are members of RVWA?
I think I am. I don't remember now.
I think I am. I think I signed up.
Yeah.
Huh?
Bob, you and I are.
We are. We actually, John was the master of ceremonies at a couple of their industry breakfasts at the Hall of Fame event last couple of years, and I was serving on a couple of their boards when they first organized the association. They've done well. Now they've got an annual awards event. They recognize the companies that are really promoting women within their corporations, and they have individual awards for volunteers that do the most work. So it's a great organization. They have really done a great job in the 5 years that they've been out there. So if you're not a member, we can certainly get you the information.
Bob, why don't we do this? Why don't we take our break? And when
I'm going to skip the half-hour break. I want to stay with the women.
We're going to skip it. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
So there. So why don't we just go do these other?
Well, let's do Walter's.
And then go back to Walter's question.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Okay. Walter has been loving the weather honestly. Ryan says thank you. And Bruce, Olivia, is that your dad?
Yeah.
Okay. Olivia's grandparents.
I think it is.
Okay. John and Grace Mekkelsen and Fran and Shirley Roberts, Lexi's grandparents, who were lifelong best friends. Wow, that's so nice. We'd be so proud to see Lexi and Olivia carrying on the family business.
Thank you, Bruce.
Very sweet.
Yeah. And they were great friends, and they both, Bruce and Fran, could tell a lot of stories about their trips.
Yeah, they had a lot of them. They had a lot of fun.
Lots of stories.
We probably won't share them tonight, but they
probably not.
Probably not. The statute of limitations isn't up on some of them.
Yeah, I will tell you this, Lexi and Olivia. I did hear many of them when I was sitting with Fran Roberts. And
I'm sure you did.
Having a Jack Daniels or two.
Or three.
In the front three. The best deal was I'd show up at Longview RV, and I'd go into the office, and I'd see Shirley. And she'd say, hi, Bob. We'd give her things. And then I say, where's Fran? She's in his office. And I'd get about 3 steps away from her, and she'd say, don't pull that Jack Daniels out of the desk. she had it figured out. But to my friend Fran and to all the stories that have told and been told.
Ladies, don't think it's special for tonight. He does it. He drinks every show.
Yeah, he does.
He drinks. He drinks every show. So okay, so let's get back to that question. Where in your career did you think that your your looking at a problem made it special. So why don't we go right up to top and
let's
go
go to Michelle Woodman.
from
We'll go all the way around. Go ahead.
Can we pass on that one and come back to me?
Sure. All right. We'll jump over to Olivia.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of instances where like you have to face a problem and like you all of a sudden like have an aha moment and like everything clicks. I mean, Connie, my aunt, was a huge mentor, and so just listening to her like over the past 5 years like handle things, and then I'm like, oh yeah, like that's all like so just like I think learning, especially being only 28 years old, just like learning from Connie and my dad about how to handle situations and how to make them like positive for the customers has been, I think, the biggest thing for me since I grew up in the business. So I'd say just like learning every day. It's a bad day if you don't learn something new. So
Well,
That's a good way to do it.
When I took over NERVDA, Fran Roberts was one of the first people to sign on, and then he'd ask me who else I was getting, and I say, I can't get Mekkelsen's, and Fran would call up Connie and say, Connie, for Christ's sake, can't join NERVDA, and I'd stop up there and I'd talk to her, and she'd talk to me, and I'll think about it. And
yeah, she's tough sometimes, but she definitely knows what she's doing.
Yeah, I think about 3 times, and then finally the 4th time, I
She
go up there, and she comes out from the back, and she says, "Oh, just give me the goddamn paperwork, and I'll sign it."
That sounds about right. But no, there's a lot to learn from her and my dad. Just so watching how they handle customers and how they make them family, and they're there for me to learn from. So I'm taking it while I can.
You have good teachers, that's for sure.
Well, ladies, if you've noticed, I've been the professional during this show. Zagami drinks and swears.
Well,
speaking of that,
that's a good intro for Lexi, because I've been in some meetings with Lexi too. So,
yeah, I think we kind of talked about a lot of it, but learning on the fly is a really big thing in the industry, especially when I started when I was 16, and I just kind of got put into any position that was needed. Most recently, I learned the title clerk position. So just learning as I go. And I think the family business has a big thing to do with it. Just making the customer's family and building that relationship. And even when you don't know the solution, you're going to find it out for them. You're going to find the person they need, and just being authentic and kind of true to that family of customers.
Yeah. Now, Lexi, I didn't get a chance. John and I didn't go to RVDA in Las Vegas this year, but I know you did. Was this your first time at Las Vegas in RVDA?
Yes, my first time in Vegas, my first time at the convention. I am the newly elected Connecticut state delegate for the association, so that was exciting.
What happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas.
Well, it must mean that her father behaved himself out there, because Suzanne and Lexi would have double teamed him if he got out of line, right?
Oh, I was, you go to that session, I go to this session. We're working hard. You take notes on that one, and we've had some teamwork going on.
All work.
I do have to give Longview credit for having one of the best popcorn machines the industry in New England. That popcorn machine downstairs. It was always good going in there on Monday after there was an open house on Saturday and Sunday, because there was always some leftover popcorn.
It needs to be dusted off, but it's still there.
Miss Slater.
Yes. So my pivotal moment was probably about 15 years ago, when I was finally taken seriously as a woman in a man's world. RVing is a very strong man's business. And it was wonderful, just someone actually listening to me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You want to go into more detail?
It was
like you told them something that they didn't think you'd know because of your gender?
Yes. Yep.
So
they went and they was like, well, one of the times, which happened many, many times, was answering the phone. They ask a question and they're like, and you give them an answer like, well, can I talk to one of the guys? And we're like, sure. And then they go and they ask me the question.
Yeah, they ask you the answer.
Yes. And I give them the answer. It happened on the phone. It happened people in person.
Yeah, go ask Jill. She'll know the answer.
Yeah.
Miss Fuller. All the way you down there. There you go.
There she is.
There she is. What do you think, Sheri?
There I am.
You got a lot of history there, lady.
I mean, basically all the time when people come in and they ask questions, or they're coming, whether it's rentals or sales, when they come into our place, I do everything in my power. And if I can't, I'll find somebody that will do it. But I want them, when they leave the office, I want them to know everything they need to know, and know that I helped them along. And that's how I've always been. If I can't solve that, I will find somebody that will, but I will do everything in my power to solve that problem. I've worked on generators. I mean, my mother-in-law took pictures of me sitting in front of a generator, changing out the circuit boards and the fuel pump, because that's what I did. I dove in. I was cleaning the motorhomes. God, when I was 9 months pregnant, told them I couldn't go have the baby because I had to finish the motorhomes or going to football games. I'll meet you on Sunday to deliver the baby. So it just, I've always gone above and beyond, but that's how I've been for 40 years. I put everything into it. I live and breathe it, but I want the people to be happy. And I know about when people call and we don't do parts anymore. And they say, well, I've got this problem. And I'll say, okay, well, what's the problem? And they ask me, I'm like, okay, you got to do this, this, and this. And they're like, really? I says, yeah. I've had 2 people call me. They put 5 gallons of antifreeze in a motorhome, and they said it can't get it to work. And the manual says, I said, you got to get it up higher because the pickup isn't picking up for the water pump. And but it says it in the manual. I said, drive up on wood. I said, get the pickup. And I was in the store when he called me, and I'm telling him this. I'm in the aisle at the grocery store, and I'm trying to tell him how to winterize his motorhome. And this was yesterday. So
Yes.
this
You know,
is
the
what
thing
I
is,
Yes.
24/7.
yeah.
He waited till yesterday.
Oh,
what
no,
about-
twice he's called me. He called me from Connecticut. 2 people have winterized his motorhome. He had problems each year, so he's doing it himself. So he said he read the manual. He said, but I put 5 gallons in. Should I put another 5 gallons in? I'm like, no. I said, you shouldn't even put it in the tank to begin with. I said, but if you get the nose up, so the pickup at the back of the tank will get the water pump will get it, then it'll go through. He said, okay, I'll try that. I'll call you back if it doesn't work. I didn't hear from him, so it must have finally worked.
Well, you know, one of our favorite stories that we tell about the Fullers, and they do this for every customer. But I was there one time, and the customer who rented a van, the Class C, took it to Atlanta, Georgia, and they had a problem. Now, Bobby was trying to convince them to fix it, and it was fixable, but the customer couldn't comprehend what he was saying. He left. He said, I'll be right there. He left. He got into another Class C, drove it overnight to Atlanta, Georgia, delivered it to the customer, and drove the other one back. There was nothing wrong with the other one, but everything was wrong about the service, and he was not going to have anybody dissatisfied. Right, Sheri?
Exactly. And that's what we do. We've gone Memorial Day, Danbury, Connecticut, back in 1990, between 93 and 96. The tail shafts were going bad on the Fords. These kids had just left. They made it to Danbury. Tail shaft broke. They're on the side of the road. We got one motorhome cleaned. We took the truck. We took the motorhome. We both drove down. We get down there, and it was on 84. So we get down there. We get them swapped into the new one, send them off. He backs the truck up to the motorhome. This is how good this is. Backs it up to the motorhome. He says, now, Cher, I need you to keep an eye on the chain. I'm going to hook it up to the truck. He says, from the motorhome to the truck. He says, you got to keep the chain taut the whole time. So I'll give you hand signals when to press on the brake and let up on the brake. Just keep an eye on me. So I'm watching the chain and him 2 hours from Danbury to Boylston. We get to the Pike. He says, do you think we should take Route 20 or should we take the Pike? I'm like, let's stay on 20. So we went 84 to 20, towing with a chain behind a truck with a 22-foot motorhome. We made it back to Boylston, picked the kids up from the Memorial Day parade and kept going.
So Sheri, if that happens again, just call Michelle. You went right by her place.
Right,
I
you
know.
could have dropped it off.
You went right by your place.
What was your seminal moment, Michelle?
A little different than what we've been talking about, but being in corporate America, I sort of got to a point where I love the companies I worked for. I got a lot of experience. I learned from really very intelligent people. But, you know, they were companies where I was basically helping people drink more soda, eat more chips, and watch more TV. And that really wasn't aligned with my personal goals and passions. So I figured I should probably go back into the family business and help my brothers run it. And it's much nicer and better selling vacation and helping families make memories like my family's had all my life. So it was closer aligned to what I was all about.
Well,
No.
it's interesting too, because you had the campground, then you had the dealership. So you must have your family has relationships with multiple generations of your customers, right?
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of the kids that we used to play with who were seasonals at our campground come to the RV dealership and buy RVs from us and stop in and get service done and, talk to us about the good old days at the campground.
I'm sorry, John, did you have something there?
Yeah. Interesting. Both of the Michelles said we're in the business of selling, making memories, not selling hardware or tires or miles per gallon. We're in the business of, am I right? Both Michelles, did you both say that tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep. See, I listen word for word while you're drinking.
I know, but I'm having more fun than you.
Well,
Walter says that's out of line. All right. Ryan says thank you.
go
Bruce.
down below.
What? Paul Knapp. Olivia rocks at Mekkelsen's RVs with her awesome family and the values they have instilled in her. That's true. I think that's true of everybody that we have there. All right, DePietro, dig into the depths of your brain and give them
Well,
something.
I'll ask all this ladies the same question. We can go around the horn again. The things that you've learned at a family business, and this is going to be subjective answers. You think you could get those same values with a giant national corporation?
You can't pass on this one, Michelle.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
With the values, like somebody had just said, she rocks and she brings the family values out. Now, Michelle's in a little different situation because she's in a national business, but it's family run. Okay, you don't have a board of directors and stockholders and all that stuff to deal with. Do you think you would have been told to operate the same way if you had to answer to shareholders and people that you don't know, never meet, and never will meet?
No, I think we do. Like I said, I just think we do things really differently and try and give them the best experience. We treat them like family. We try and do what's right all the time by the customer and just give them a great experience.
I mean, you work directly for the son of the CEO.
I do.
Right? So, you're not far away from where you're getting your inspiration.
Right.
Right.
And we do a lot of training, especially in the off season. And, we're always learning something new. For me, a tough thing for me in the beginning was objections, right? So if a customer had an objection, I would go to Aaron. Hey, if the customer says this, what can I say back? And I think I had a notebook full of replies that I was going to say. And it's not like that. It's just when you feel relaxed and comfortable, and it's no sale's ever the same. This sale happened here or didn't happen. The next one, you just got to move on. And the training is just really, really amazing. It's a great company to work for.
What was your best sale, Michelle, and why was it the good one?
What was what?
Why was it memorable? What was your best sale that you're most proud of?
Boy, oh man, there's a lot. I think honestly,
$5,000 over sticker.
I think just
That was during COVID, John.
Yeah, I
That
know.
was during COVID. Yeah.
I was not there during COVID.
Oh, you weren't? Oh,
No, I've been there for a year and a half. I'm not sure that I would love working there during COVID. I feel like it was.
So a year and a half, and you're the top sales rep in the company.
That's
pretty good. That's pretty damn good. All right.
Okay, let's go around the horn.
Let's go to
Olivia.
yeah.
Family
So
values.
yeah,
Family
so
business values.
I mean, I definitely experienced it firsthand working for Cruise America for just like 3 months with Karen McDonald, and it was tough, like having to go up the ladder 5 different people to get something approved just to like take care of the customer, like a simple thing. So I just think like being able to treat whether it's a rental customer, sales customer, service customer like family and do what's right in the moment when you have to make a quick decision on something. And like they said, like no rental is ever the same, no sale is ever the same in a family business. We just want what's best for the customer, and we want them to be able to create, if it's a rental, create great memories and be able to take care of them during the rental and after the rental. And then same with, selling a unit to somebody, just making sure we have the staff and we have the ability to take care of them, whether it's in Vermont or they're traveling, because we are one location. And so we did join Route 66 in the past couple of years, and that's been a game changer for us to be able to compete with some of the, box stores that are coming in around us.
That's very well said. Very well said. All right. Miss Slater is up again.
I think working for, if it was a corporate business, it would be so much more colder, because in a family business, everybody knows everybody, and there's just a really nice warmth going and working with everybody and just dealing with all the customers.
Now, another thing, Jill.
Yes.
How many birthdays do you have every week down there? Cupcakes and the
We haven't had one since October.
Oh, you haven't? Oh.
No. We'll have one in a couple of weeks.
Oh, all right. Who's coming up in a couple of weeks?
Hannah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And of course she's going to want Joe's cheesecake.
There you go. Never a dull day, and it's always delicious.
Yes.
Fuller, how say you? Oops, what'd I do? I cut her.
Get rid of me again.
We got 4 minutes left. Put the damn bottle down.
Producing this because I've got so many things to do besides talk to you guys.
Well, stop refilling your Jack Daniels glass.
I've only gotten half of it. I've been talking so much.
Good Lord. Sheri, go.
I could never, you know what? I don't think, basically in my whole adulthood, I've only been here. I've been doing this. And I did have jobs before, but they were family run businesses also. So I've never worked for a big corporation, but I don't believe that I would even like to do that, because just like all of you have been saying, it's hands-on. You don't have to talk to anybody else. You solve it for yourself. You take care of those people yourself, and they appreciate it. So corporate is so cold, and why should you have to go talk to somebody and say, okay, listen, this guy's asking about this, so what can we do for it? And then you got to sit and wait. That's ridiculous. They're there in that moment. You got to be able to take care of them. You only got 5 minutes, and that's it. And that's their attention span. And corporate is, as I said, it's just cold. I love family-run businesses, and that's how it's always been.
And it's validated every time you get on the phone with the corporate entity rather than one of the other, peers that you're seeing on the screen tonight, or somebody else who's an independent one. That leaves us with Michelle.
And Lexi, too.
And Lexi.
And Lexi, yeah. Well, I mean, I had a corporate marketing career for over 20 years, so I have experienced that. It's definitely, I mean, corporations are about creating shareholder value and managing, ultimately managing to Wall Street and their quarterly earnings releases. And it's not really always about the customer. And it is harder to get things done. It's harder to move a big ship, and there's a lot of decisions that need to be made by consensus. And sometimes that gets difficult, or it just takes a long time when you know what the right answer is and you want to solve it. In family businesses, there's definitely more of that family feel, camaraderie, warmth, one person getting something done for another person, just like I said, families helping families to make good memories and have fun and have a vacation and have good experiences. So I guess two very different goals, right? A smaller family business is really all about the value of, creating those memories, and we're on the front line with the customer doing it. And corporations are, more about managing shareholder value and managing to Wall Street. So two totally different goals.
You get to put the finishing touches on it. We could probably go for another hour, but what have you got to say?
You'll be drunker than hell by then.
I got to work at one of the big four accounting firms. Sorry. I got to work at one of the big four accounting firms, so I got to see kind of firsthand how the corporation structure works, and it's a lot of rules, and this is how things are done. But I think the main thing that a family business can bring is a lot of creativity, and every employee's ideas are valued, and someone can come up with something super creative and make really big changes and impact, where I think that's the difference from a corporate structure. Your small idea might not really go anywhere because there's a lot of channels, like we said, to go through. But like, we had a new parts manager pretty recently, and our parts store has a bunch of different things in it now since he's come. So I feel like that direct impact, anyone, not just me, anyone in the company can have an idea and we can run with it.
Not just the owner's daughter.
Yeah. Yep. Ladies,
I want to hear what everyone else thinks. You get better ideas from a team. So
agreed.
I'm impressed. I think these ladies, we owe them a round of applause for coming on, having to deal with us,
right,
and throwing them into a lion's pit, not knowing what they were going to encounter. Lexi, don't nod your head.
I know next time I'm going to be down bottom here, so I don't go first.
This isn't one of those programs where you can lock on one and just move them up and down. You gotta play around with it. So,
and if we knew what we were doing, it would even be more fun.
That's right. It would probably be dull. Ladies, thank you very much. That was outstanding. I think that was one of the best shows we've ever done. I can't thank you enough, and your viewpoints are well taken, and I hope all the guys in the audience were paying attention tonight.
Yep.
Thank you for having us, Bob and John.
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of these ladies.
Nice to meet all you ladies.
Yes, you guys too.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, all you girls.
Yes.
Bob, commercial, end with a commercial on the way out.
We do a commercial on the way out. There you go. Go ahead.
See y'all.
Your best.
Bye.
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 You going to read it?
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.